Silence is your enemy. Have you noticed? You can manage a team of 50 people, close high-stakes deals, work 12 hours a day and feel fine. But the moment you stop, when you lie in bed without your phone, when you wait in line, when Sunday morning arrives with no plans, that is when the panic starts. A swarm of thoughts activates in your head. You urgently need to check your email, invent a new project, clean the apartment, listen to a podcast at 2x speed. You tell yourself you are just efficient. You call it productivity or drive. The world applauds you. Your boss loves you. But deep down, you know the truth. You aren't running towards success. You're running away from yourself. What you're feeling is not just workaholism. It is a trauma response. In this video, we will break down the concept of the flight response, explain why your success is built on adrenaline, and I will give you a technique to learn how to stop without destroying yourself. If what I just described resonates with you, you likely belong to a group that psychotherapist Pete Walker, in his book on complex PTSD, calls the flight type. This is not a formal diagnosis, but a psychological pattern that helps understand your stress response. Let's look at the biology. When an animal encounters a predator, it has a choice: fight, freeze, or flee. In the previous video, we talked about freezing, but flight is the exact opposite. It is the hyperactivation of the sympathetic nervous system. Your body is constantly, 24/7, pumped full of adrenaline and cortisol. For the flight type, the threat is not a lion. The threat is emotional pain or a sense of vulnerability. And your nervous system has found a brilliant, albeit exhausting, way to avoid this pain: speed. Walker explains it this way: when you are constantly busy, obsessed with plans, lists, and self-improvement, you're in a state of left brain dissociation. You relocate into your head. You live in logic, in the future, in strategies. Why? Because as long as you are thinking and doing, you don't have to feel. Your perfectionism is not a pursuit of quality. It is a shield. Your overworking is not a love for labor. It is a painkiller. You use your own busyness as a drug to drown out the quiet but unbearable pain of loneliness or unworthiness. You aren't just an active person. You are a person who believes that if you stop for even a second, the world will collapse. Or, even scarier, you will be left alone with your thoughts. If your whole life feels like this, it didn't start in your first job. It started much earlier. Where does this come from? Why did you become this way? Usually the flight type forms in families where love was conditional. Maybe you weren't beaten or yelled at. Maybe you had a normal childhood. But remember, when were you praised? When were you noticed? Only when you brought home good grades? When you won the competition? When you were easy, successful, the pride of the family? The flight type often forms in children who internalized a brutal rule: I am valuable only as long as I'm useful. Or, as long as I'm perfect, I won't be criticized. You learned that safety is not a state of calm. Safety is a state of control. You grew up to become a human doing instead of a human being. And now, as an adult, this program continues to run. You seek validation through exhaustion. You feel guilty when you just sit and drink coffee because your inner critic whispers, "You are wasting time. You could have done something useful by now." That voice is not your voice. It is an echo from the past telling you that you aren't good enough as you are, that your right to exist must be earned every single day. But here's the truth that hurts to hear. You can earn all the money in the world. You can get all the awards. You can close every ticket in Jira, but it will never give you peace because you are trying to fill an emotional void with achievements. And that is a bottomless pit. You aren't running to the finish line. You are outrunning your own shadow. and you can never run faster than yourself. Before we move to the practice, an important disclaimer. This is not medical advice. If your anxiety is interfering with your life, please consult a professional. This is a tool for self-exploration. So, what do we do? If I tell you to just relax or meditate for 20 minutes, you will likely feel rage or even more anxiety. For the flight type, meditation is often unbearable because it removes the protective mechanism of speed. We're not going to stop a speeding train instantly. That would lead to a disaster. We are going to learn to break impulses. The exercise is called micro-stopping. Here's how it works. Continue doing what you're doing. Work, clean, code. But set a timer or a reminder. When the signal goes off, you must stop for exactly 30 seconds. If 30 seconds feels like too much, start with 10. Physically freeze. Take your hands off the keyboard. And in these seconds, your job is not to calm down. Your job is to feel the vibration of your engine. Close your eyes, if safe, or just soften your gaze. Feel your body humming. Feel that impulse of, I need to do something. Feel the itch in your hands, the tension in your jaw, the rapid heartbeat. Don't try to fix it. Just observe it, like a car engine idling in neutral but revving high. Tell yourself, I see my anxiety. I see my desire to run. But right now, I am safe, even if I'm doing nothing. After 30 seconds, go back to work. Do this 3 to 4 times a day. Why does this work? You're teaching your brain that stopping does not equal death. You're breaking the automatic chain of anxiety, action. You're creating a tiny space between impulse and reaction. And in that space lies freedom. The path of healing for the flight type is not about abandoning ambition. You don't need to become a monk. Your energy is your gift. You are capable of great things. But the difference between trauma and health is choice. Trauma is when you cannot stop running. Health is when you can run, but you can also walk. When you start to slow down, sadness might catch up with you. Sadness for the years you spent racing. Sadness for that little child who decided they would only be loved for straight A's. Don't be afraid of the sadness. Pete Walker says that tears are what extinguish the fire of the sympathetic nervous system. Tears release cortisol. Allow yourself to grieve instead of act. That is the beginning of healing. You are worthy of love not because of what you did today. You are worthy of love simply because you exist. Try to believe that, even for just a minute.